So what I'll speak about is the human life story that is inside the major arcana. The major arcana flows. The major arcana flows as a typical human life story. The time the tarot was created, life expectancy was very short. People would usually be dead by the time they were 50. So there is a three phases of life. This is not a varnashrama dharma, but they used to be youth, adult and old. They did not have anything called middle age. So this is like the three phases of life in the major arcana. Now because our Sacred India Tarot is very spiritual and all the archetypes are the gods and goddesses of the Hindu culture, of course there is a deeper layer of meaning to the cards. But even if you don't know the stories of the gods and goddesses, even then the way the sequence of the major arcana cards is unfolding is very wonderful, because it is a classic map for life. So it's very interesting. So the zero card is, in that sense, the baby being born. Yes? The baby is born. Okay. When the baby is born, all the parents are convinced that this child of mine is the greatest thing the planet has ever seen. Most talented, most able, basically Vishnu. My child is Vishnu, the magician in all senses. The baby's first experience of consciousness, the baby becomes aware, that is the high priestess, Saraswati. 2. The first person is aware of other than itself is the empress, the mother. After it is aware of the mother, it is aware of family and father and family. Yes, there is something other than me and my mother, there is something called father and family, that is the emperor. Then what do we do to children? We send them off to school. That is when they have to deal with the hierophant, the school, rules, regulations, strictness, timetable, schedules, good, bad, marks, all the hierophant. And it continues through life, no? Because after school there are exams, and then after exams you have to get a job, and so everything is hierophant. And you need to, sign contracts, and you need to... So all those social rules and regulations, the experience of all the social rules and regulations. So the hierophant stage goes on for a very, very long time in life. In fact, till the day you die. Lovers, in this case, lovers means getting married, settling down, choosing what is the best path for your life. So in that sense, lovers is very, very correct. Then, you got your education, you got married, you got your job, you get some level of success, that is a chariot. Sometimes maybe you have to move. Sometimes maybe you have to move cities because you got a promotion, so now you leave the city where you lived with your parents and you go to another city with your wife and kids, and all that is very common, yes? So, so that's the chariot. Now, in life, now you got married, you have children, you have jobs, so you have a lot of legal issues. You become little old, a lot of karma catches up with you, a lot of life experiences happen to you. That is justice. You start maturing, you start realizing, okay, there are many. Because of those life experiences, the spiritual side activates in you, which is the hermit. Or because of your life experiences, you think, okay, I took a wrong turn. All this was a mistake. I should not have got married and had kids. Whatever, the hermit. Then you come to the wheel where you more or less accept, this is my life. This is more or less my life. Or sometimes in middle age, suddenly some dramatic shift happens. Because the wheel means that whatever is happening is going to change. So card number 10, the wheel. Now when that dramatic shift happens, you need to manifest strength to deal with it. Or you discover all along, for men this is especially true, that the source of their strength and the power was always their wife. The wife is the Shakti. The wife is the strength. The wife is the... Behind every successful man there is a woman. That used to be the saying. It's not a very popular saying today, but to a large extent the wife was a Shakti. Okay, fine, but life does not stop just because you've discovered this is your Shakti. So there will always be episodes where there will be financial difficulty, there will always be episodes where you will be depressed, there will always be episodes where you will feel I'm in trouble. That is the hanging man. Death. Now, if you live to a certain age, members in the family will die. The experience of death, especially when you're in your 40s, suddenly you have the experience of lots of family members dying off. Older generation, tuck, 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 they start dropping like flies. So, the experience of death is very physical, and plus many things. You have to give up on many dreams. You realize that maybe I'm never going to do mountain climbing now. Maybe I'm never going to drive a race car now. So those kind of deaths also happen. Temperance. Now this has multiple meanings. You are dealing correctly with the challenges of life. You are resorting to alcohol as an excuse from life. Yeah, but see, death happens. The experience of death happens. We have something in our culture called Shamshana Vairagya, the renunciation that activates because you have seen death. You have gone to the Shamshana, you have seen the person cremated, and then you come back, and for 3 days you bore everybody by saying, life has no meaning, everything is so temporary. Yeah, so that is called Shamshana Vairagya. It is a well-known problem. Yeah, it is a crematorium renunciation, Shamshana Vairagya. So you can medicate yourself with alcohol, or you can decide that I need to really seriously change my life. That is what is called a midlife crisis. What happens is that people get educated for 20 years. First 20 years we don't need to bother about our life because society takes care of it. 20, 21, 22, whatever. Next 20 years we live off that education. Whatever the skills we learned, whatever the educations we learned. When we come to our mid-40s, now suddenly you need something fresh, you need something new. So that is the point where you are meeting the devil, you are tempted. Yeah, go and buy a sports car, run away with the hotter younger girl. Yeah, start becoming dishonest and corrupt because I need to make the money. That is the point when you meet the devil. So at this point, if you are very lucky, instead of the devil you meet the guru, and the guru gives you the diksha. Now the tower for me is the way the tarot explained, or since the tarot was a European yoga, the experience of diksha. Because when you are initiated, it is normally not a easy process, especially if it is a Kundalini initiation, which the tarot seems to be a Kundalini structure. From now on, this process, the cards from now on will describe the Kundalini working. I did not know that. Then somebody pointed out to me that there was this great channel called Edgar Casey, and he had actually described the cards from 16 onwards as the cards of the Kundalini. I was completely not aware of it. But I had figured out the entire Kundalini process within the tarot, and it explains something because the cards come in very odd sequence. If you look at the sequence from now on, the cards are very odd. So the tower is Diksha, the tower is the Jagran, the tower is the activation of the Kundalini. So if you look at it that way, Shiva has activated Kundalini in you. Yes? What happens when Jagran happens? Oh, wonderful. Spirituality. It is so awesome. It is so wonderful. I feel so happy. I feel so much better now. That is the experience of the star. Now the star, remember, is the sun. Yes? What is the next card after the star? Sudden oddity, the moon. So after Diksha, after the activation of the Kundalini is now flowing. That is what it means in the star. The energy is flowing. Where does it flow? It flows in two channels, Ida Pingala, lunar and solar channel. That is why moon and sun come here. It is actually the Ida and the Pingala. It is actually the Ida and the Pingala. It flows in the lunar channel, it flows in the solar channel. So that is Ida Pingala, that is the moon and the sun channel. Then we come to Pralaya. What is Pralaya? So Kundalini is activated, you have had nice experiences, it is flowing through Ida Pingala, now it is flowing through the central channel. And it is shattering you at all levels. All your conditionings, all your Vasana Samaskaras, all your habits across multiple lifetimes is being destroyed. You are being recreated. In Kundalini Yoga, there is actually a stage where we have the experience of death, where we feel that we have died and then we are reborn. So that is Pralaya. That is the Pralaya, that is the judgment. And after the judgment, finally we come to the world. Now we have come back into the world. Now we have come into a new state of being, a new state of consciousness. Now we are permanently established in a spiritual state of consciousness. So that is the life story, the secret life story within the major arcana. That is the secret life story. That is the Kundalini life story. And I am very sure that this is not my imagination, that the European tarot masters did know that. It has to be so. It cannot be any other way. Because it is a yoga. It is a method of activating Kundalini. So this is a little insight that I gained and developed on my own as to the whole working of the Kundalini process. Because why would they spend time on cards if it was not spiritually beneficial? It was not possible. So this was a way of teaching. This was a way of hiding that knowledge from people and then transmitting it. Just a small and interesting input onto the whole. Yeah? Sarvam Shivamaya.